Hi folks, it's Ronan here from Point 5 Brewing, and today I'm going to talk about gluten-free non-alcoholic beers. Before we get started, please do like this video, or please subscribe, or do both, and it'll help us to grow the Point 5 channel, which is much appreciated. I wanted to cover a few things on gluten-free non-alcoholic beers. First of all, what makes non-alcoholic beer not be gluten-free? How would you make it gluten-free? What are some brands that are gluten-free? And then, is Point 5 gluten-free? Hint, it's not. Beer or non-alcoholic beer typically isn't gluten-free because it contains barley or malted barley. That's the way that most beer is made, and because barley does have some gluten, inevitably the final product is not gluten-free. So the most straightforward way to make a gluten-free product would be to avoid using barley in the first place and instead using something like corn or millet or rice. The second approach for making a gluten-free product would be to brew the beer and ferment it normally, including with barley, but then to wear the level of gluten down by using an enzyme like Brewer's Clarex. If you use Brewer's Clarex, you're effectively able to convert away from gluten and get the level of gluten down to below 20 parts per million in the final product. So there are the two ways to make gluten-free beer, and those two methods can also be applied in the same way to make gluten-free non-alcoholic beer. One example of a gluten-free non-alcoholic beer is made by Glutenberg, where they avoid using barley. Now, Point 5 is not gluten-free because it's a traditionally brewed Pilsner with alcohol precisely removed, and since it's a traditional recipe, we do have malted barley, and so there is gluten in the final product. However, and I can't say too much, but we are planning a product that should be good for those looking for a gluten-free product, and hopefully a much wider audience as well. That's it, folks. Please do comment below. Have you been looking for a gluten-free non-alcoholic beverage? What have you found and how have they tasted? We'd love to hear. Cheers.